Hey, how's it going? My name's Travis. This is one of my first videos. I've made a couple little videos, but I haven't really made anything that really talks about who I am and what I have going on. So I do junk removal here in Bend, Oregon, and I started this business shortly after I had another business that crashed and burned really hard and tried to take me down with it. That's a whole nother story, but after failing really miserably with that business, I moved into junk removal. And when I first started going, I set up my GMB myself. I joined as many partner networks as I could, like Load Up and Check Sammy, and I put up yard signs and I did everything I could just to get that business up and running and generating as much profit as possible while trying to keep my costs down. I was doing Google local services too, which I still do and I recommend to people. But after I had made some money, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with this, and I really, I do enjoy it. I still enjoy it, but once you start making money, you're like, okay, I need to invest in some systems. I need to make a more systematic approach to making this thing work better and generating more revenue. And I joined all the Facebook groups that I could possibly find and started looking for a website, and a lot of recommendations for two different people. There was Matt Fitch back then, which was a big name, and he was like kind of partnered with, looked like he was kind of partnered with Andrew Thompson. I saw photos together and there was doing stuff together. Andrew Thompson was getting ready to launch Autopilot, and I was watching a lot of Andrew's content because he has a lot of really good content. If you guys haven't checked him out, I absolutely recommend checking out Andrew Thompson. He provides a ton of free content, and he's not one of those guys that are just selling these courses where they don't really know what they're talking about. Andrew really does, so definitely highly recommend checking out his stuff if you haven't already. But anyways, yeah, Matt Fitch kind of came along, and a lot of people in these Facebook groups were using his services, and they were posting websites all the time. So before I hired Matt Fitch, I hired another guy named, I don't know, Neil or something. It doesn't really matter. I had a little bit of money left over, and I wanted to put it to good use. I'd made some money doing junk removal already, and I thought it'd be well spent to invest in a good website. So I hired someone to build me a custom 25-page website, Neil something, and he had been recommended from one of the Facebook groups by several people. And I had an initial meeting with him, and he set up a landing page for me pretty quickly, and I paid him a deposit for half of the website. So the total website was like $4,500. I paid him $2,250 or $2,200, and got the landing page, and then kind of stayed in touch a little bit. But like he said, it was going to take like maybe 8 weeks to build it. So like, okay, custom website. This other stuff looked pretty good. Again, like not a lot of experience using, definitely had never built a website back then. So I paid him the money. 8 weeks later, I'm like, where's my website? And it took him several days to even respond. He's like, oh, I'm 4 pages in, basically, of my 25 plus page website. So I'm like, okay, this clearly isn't going to work out. So I ended up firing him. I didn't get my $2,200 back. I tried and just kind of let it go foolishly, and took everyone else's advice in the group and hired Matt Fitch. And Matt Fitch charged me, I think, $1,800 for a website, and then I also signed up for just Google ads management with him. And I'm not saying these are exact figures, but from what I remember, it was like $1,800 for the website, and then he did set up like a single page landing page with it too. And then I paid him for the Google Ads management, like $750 a month, and then $450 for 3 months, and then $350 a month then on. So that went on. Like he built the website. It wasn't a very nice website. I think it was about 5 pages or so. It was a slap together AI templated website from slappa.ai or some cheesy nonsense. But at the time, I was recovering from a failed business. I had a brother that I was trying to help out that ended up getting into some really bad drugs, and I had to kick him out at the same time. We were about to have a baby, and baby ended up being born early and spent time in the NICU, and I was dealing with the fallout of another big business calamity. I had started another business prior, a fiber optic splicing business, and trying to manage all these things at the same time. So I didn't have a lot of time to sit down and really analyze the best path forward. I just knew I needed to make revenue, and I tried to pick what seemed like the best path at the time to get there. So Google Local Services was working okay, but not getting the volume that I wanted, and so that's why I was looking for additional revenue streams. And Matt Fitch had been recommended by so many people. He was kind of an influencer in the space. And so I hired him. Built me the website. I signed up for Autopilot not that long after, and actually invested a little bit of money in Autopilot. I still have that investment. I do think Andrew Thompson is going to keep doing great things. He's, putting out good content all the time. So I'm still happy with that investment decision. And I think Andrew was great. But Matt Fitch, on the other hand, I had this nagging, because I was getting good volume, for about 15 months I was running these ads. But at the end of the day, like at the end of the month, like I was working my butt off and making decent revenue, but I was blowing so much money on ad spend and trying to juggle all these balls. It took me way too long to finally audit it, but when I finally did, I audited all of the ad spend for the 15 months, and I had wasted 48% of my ad spend to just nonsense words, just wasted words, like people trying to get a hold of dump, people that weren't even in my geographical area. Like, I live in Bend, Oregon, so I was getting calls like Eugene and Portland, and I wasted, I think it was $1,800 on the word ServPro. Like that one keyword, ServPro, which is like a hazard restoration company. I spent $1,800 on just that one word. So my gut was right, and when I finally audited him and realized that I'd spent 22 grand on Google Ads in that 15 months, and 48% of that was gone to waste. So 11 grand gone. Plus all the money that I had paid Matt Fitch to, quote, run my Google ads. Well, he wasn't even tracking conversions, let alone doing any sort of attribution, tracking where any of the ad spend was going. So there was absolutely no way to even know what ads were generating what revenue and if they were paying off. So that was about 4.5 months ago. It was February 14th I fired him. Valentine's Day, I think. And that was an interesting ordeal. Even trying to get my website back from him and get access to my Google Ads account, he straight up refused to give me access and let me take over the account. He tried to hide behind the fact that his MCC owned the account and that he couldn't hand it over, which is not true. First of all, that's a really shady way to do business. You should never have your ads account be held hostage by agency guy, and if he is, I would run. So I've spent the last 4.5 months basically in a cave working 100 hours a week, figuring all this out so that this never happens again. And I've, during this process, realized how badly this, not just this industry, but all service-based industries are completely just so, the system is just so rigged against the guy trying to start up and run a business and just make revenue and not get hosed on Google Ads and not get hosed on the agency just ripping you off for every little thing that needs updated and pretending like they're doing a professional job building you a website when they're slapping some AI piece of crap together that doesn't convert, that you're wasting your hard-earned money on ad spend going down the toilet, on conversions not converting, on your website loading slow and losing traffic, to no no tracking whatsoever, and no reporting on if your ad spend is going to anything meaningful. And I think a lot of agency guys want it that way, because then they can get away with charging you to do nothing, which is what Matt Fitch was doing with me. And I know I'm not the only one. I know after I went back and audited him, I went into the Facebook groups again, and it had been a while since I've been in there. But there's a ton of people, when I search Matt's name, ton of people just trying to gather information and basically filing lawsuits against him from what I could tell. At that point, I got my website back and I started fixing it up. And then I realized that, like I have a tech background. I worked for 10 years in telecommunications, and then I moved on to the Apple data center out here in Prineville. I worked there for a few years, and then I went to a company called Crowdstrike, which is a data security company. And so I did learn a good amount about systems and system architecture doing that, and automation. And at Crowdstrike, that's one of the biggest things that we learned, is just automating. So we worked at the systems integration facility here in Bend. I helped get it off the ground and going, and we were constantly automating. And that is, if I've learned anything through this process, that should be the number one goal for every one of you out there, is making as much money as you can without spending a ton of time doing it. So as little time doing it as possible, really. And I know, like, a lot of people say, oh yeah, I can build my own website. I can run my own Google ads. I can run my own marketing. I can answer all my phone calls myself. I don't need anyone. I can do all of it myself. But at the end of the day, is that really paying off for you? I would definitely argue that it's not, because how much is your time worth? How much money? For me, I know I like to charge at a bare minimum. I like to make $100 an hour doing junk removal. Hopefully $200 or $300 an hour doing junk removal. So if I'm making that much doing junk removal, and you guys are too, hopefully, if not, then there's a problem. So if you're making that much doing junk removal, and you're saying you're going to take, how much time are you spending a day writing down your jobs if you don't have a CRM to track them, if you don't have a business phone with some way to follow up, if you can't answer every single phone call, how many of those jobs are you losing if you can't get back to them quick enough? How many systems are you chasing down? So a lot of people will get a website, then they'll get a CRM, then they'll get a phone system. Some people will get an estimator, like I know Andrew Thompson's got an AI estimator out there now. Most people don't get any sort of attribution or tracking, because traditionally it's been extremely expensive. And only big companies like Load Up and College Hunks and 1-800-GOT-JUNK and Junk King, all those companies can afford a marketing team that can afford to do Google Click ID, GCL ID tracking, and attribution, which tells Google that, the $50 you spent on acquiring that one ad paid off $2,400 for an estate clean out, instead of spending $50 on a mattress pickup, which might only pay $70 to $100. You're now telling Google, hey, I can spend a lot more money on those estate cleanouts, because look at how much money they're paying me. And then you start ranking for those types of jobs. So when people search for, hi Ro, I'm making a video, hon. Can you come back later? Thank you. Will you shut the door, please? So that's what traditionally has held the small guys down. Like, if you don't have the capital, and I got quotes on building out some of the systems that I have now built for junk removal, which the system architecture that I've built for this is not just for junk removal. I'm starting with junk removal because that's my bread and butter. I also have a fiber optic splicing business, which I'm building the system to work for that, but that's a whole nother story. I can tell you guys more about that later if you're interested. But for the junk removal side of it, I looked at the industry and I looked at what's working and what's not. And, like the guys like Andrew Thompson are right. Like, you need the data and you need systems to be able to run correctly. Like, even if you're not running like 4-6 man crew. I'm not. I'll be completely honest. I mainly still do most of my junk jobs myself. And I like doing them. I don't necessarily have to anymore, but I enjoy doing them and it's good money. If there's a huge job that I get, I will get help, but it's not worth the stress for me where I'm at to run a multiple team crew. But the system that I'm designing will absolutely work for any size company. And it is going to give any business the same firepower as any franchise, actually better. I've looked at all of them. There's another company, I won't say their name, but they claim to have a patent. They're only junk removal business to have a patent on this technology they've developed for junk removal, and it's basically amounts to the junk removal owner, if you buy into their franchise, you can go out and take pictures for an estimate and send it back to like their back office, and someone will physically look at the pictures and give you an estimate, and they're touting this as like it's some great revelation. Like, okay, I guess there's some scenario, and I don't mean to like rag on any companies or anyone who's out there trying, but my opinion is everything that's out there right now is completely garbage for the most part. And I'm sorry, not everything. But the system, the industry as a whole and the products that are available are garbage. All of the service-based industries, it's all garbage. And why do I say that? I say that because you have to go get 5 different systems or 6 different systems, and you have to duct tape them together with Zapier to make them work. And Zapier just uses a bunch of webhooks that die and it breaks. It's literally you're taking your website and your CRM and your phone system and whatever leads management you have, and you're taping them all together with this product that's, the only reason Zapier exists is because these products don't live together natively like they should in the first place. And the agencies that are out there right now building these things, touting that they're software development companies, they're really just agencies, and they're slapping together these products from Go High Level, which are these generic white labeled CRMs that honestly are garbage. They're garbage. They're not specifically tailored to any one industry. They will work if you're in a pinch, but they are not the tools you should be using. And another one is, and I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this because they have a massive following, and I haven't watched a ton of their videos. I'm sure they're great guys. So I hate to bash them, and I'm sure for a lot of scenarios and for a lot of people, depending where you're at, these products work fine, and it's fine. But Quote IQ, they have their max plan is $700 a month. $700. And you get a website builder with it for $35 a month is included. But that website builder, you have to pay it's built into the package, but they're pricing it, they're saying it's $35 a month. But what that website builder is a bloated WordPress antiquated website that you need a bunch of plugins to run, which just slows your website down. It doesn't load fast. There's not a ton that you can do with it. You can't really specifically tailor it to exactly what you need to do for junk removal. And that is the problem. And also, who is really doing anything with AI? Like, hardly anyone. You can get, Jobber has an AI where you can do some stuff. You can get an AI agent that will help you, like a dispatcher, but it's fairly limited in what it will do. It's not fully integrated with the rest of your system because Jobber doesn't sell websites. They sell a CRM, so you can build jobs into your CRM, but how are you going to connect that CRM to your website and the rest of your tools? How are you going to tie it in with your full phone system? So this is why this whole process has led me to where I'm at, which is building a better system, which I have decided to call Junk OS. And what Junk OS is it starts out with this. So this is my website. And I'm not saying this website is perfect. I'm not done with it either. But the whole idea of this website is taking... So the analogy I like to use is everyone in the industry tries to sell you on this idea that you need a custom website. Why? Why do you need a custom website? Well, you need a custom website because it's your brand. You're trying to showcase your own brand. It's your company. It's not your neighbor's company. It's not the guy across town. I mean, it needs to showcase everything that you're doing that is so much better than the other guys, right? But does that mean that you need a custom website that has to be completely built from scratch? To me, that's like saying, I need a custom car built because it needs to represent me and who I am. But like, sure, I can have a custom car built. It's going to be more expensive. It's not going to drive as well. It's going to have a lot of mechanical issues. I'm not going to trust it on the highway. It's probably not going to have the best safety ratings. Who knows if the brakes are going to work or if it's going to start in the morning. But it'll have your logo on it, and it'll have your business hours and operations, and you can get your pricing on there. But anytime you need to make changes to it, you got to call your agency, and you have to generally pay them some hours to go in and change whatever it is that you want changed. That's a huge problem. And so like the way I look at it is like, I'm not building a custom car for you guys. I'm not building a very custom website. What I'm doing is taking a proven shell that I know is I've built to work for my business. It has dramatically changed my conversions. My ad spend has gone way down. I'm actually, to be honest, I turned my Google ads off for the first time ever, and I'm still getting enough business to where I don't need them right now. I will turn them back on when I'm done building Junk OS, because then it's time to go back to war and really put this product to the max test possible. But really what I'm saying is I've built this amazing Next.js. Right now it's like a 35-page shell. It'll end up being like a 45-page shell because I'm going to have close to 30 dedicated service pages. But as it stands, this is what it is. So I've got a lot of high-end features turned on for this, as you can see. I've spent a lot of time building this. The images, I'll be honest, they're obviously not real images. These represent, I drive a Ford Lightning and I have a 17-yard black dump trailer. So this represents my actual equipment, but this is a ChatGPT image, and most of my service-based images are. But like, I have these partnership cards in here that are built in. I have all of my service-based cards that are built, with my dedicated service pages. And if you're running Google ads, this is what you have to do. If you're just running one ad group for junk removal, you are going to get hammered trying to compete against everyone else for that word. So you have to run these long tail keywords. You have to run garage cleanouts. You have to run estate cleanouts. You have to run hoarder cleanouts, donation, cardboard pickups, commercial. All these things is what slowly starts building you rankings, SEO, your local SEO organic rankings will go up for all of these individual words, which will help you start getting calls organically so you don't have to rely as much on Google Ads. But even so, the Google ad spend will go dramatically down. But I'm sorry, I kind of got off course here. So we'll go back to the website. So what this website is you'll come to Junk OS and you'll pick out, I have 3 different themes that are available. I have 3 different shells that are available. So there's one that looks like this. There's one that's a even more utilitarian style, and then my older like V2 version, which is a lot more simple version. So you can pick any one of those themes, and then, or any one of those structures, and then you'll pick out a theme. So I've built like close to 100 themes right now, and I'm going to build more. So it doesn't matter what color your branding is. I've built most of them that I've seen junk removal guys have, and if you want something that you don't see, I can build you a new theme. In this system that I've built, I can build them in about 5 minutes, honestly. It might take a little bit longer than that to get it like told, but I can get the rough draft of it up and running for you almost immediately, like really quickly. But even, and you can change them at any time. So you'll pick out a structure and then a color theme that'll match your branding. And then all of this content, everything on here, all the SEO content, your business name, your logo, your hours of operation, your email address, all of that is set dynamically in a dashboard. So all you have to do is either one, type it in manually, or you can use our AI companion app where you just have a conversation with it, and it's going to ask you a little bit about your business, and basically it'll form a bio, and then it'll generate all the copy for all of your dedicated service pages. That copy though lives in a dashboard, and that dashboard you can update at any time very easily. So you don't have to go into your website at all to change any of this or change any of the images. They live in a very easy to use dashboard, which I will show you guys the dashboard later. Before I do that, I have to build a version of it that has none of my customer data in it. So I have to build like a sandbox version of it. And before I can do that, I have to finish it. So there's about 5 or 6 pages left in it that I have to finish building out, and then I'll build the sandbox version. So you guys can totally play around with it 100% all you want before you even sign up. And as part of this Junk OS platform, I'm going to be giving 30 days totally free. So you'll land on this, you'll pick out your structure that you want, you'll pick out the theme that you want, and then you'll upload everything that's pertinent to your business. And then this thing deploys like immediately. So I'll go through this website really quick. So I have this hero image. This is just, a full-size hero right now. And this is changeable, by the way. You can change this to a totally different structure. I have an AI photo estimator that I developed, which is up here. So you can click on this, and this takes you to our photo estimator page. I'm finishing right now this full catalog that I've built out. So I'm calling it Junk Cart. This is a trademarked full catalog that I've built myself as part of the estimator, which is going to make the whole estimator process dramatically better than any other estimator out there that I've seen. So here's where you go to upload. You can upload images to get a photo estimate. I'm being very liberal with the amount of photos that you can do. This, I don't remember if I have this set to 30 or 50 images, but it's going to be 50. If it's set to 30, I'm changing it to 50. And then when you run this through, I'll do a full demonstration of that later, but when you run that through, it will populate. So if you take a whole bunch of pictures and you have like a mattress and a refrigerator and paint cans, and then it's just like a pile of like household junk, it'll catalog all those items, and then it builds an Amazon style shopping cart that the customer can change at any time, or you can change at any time, and it'll automatically update the price. There's no like going back and forth or sending an email back and forth. It's all done in this very high-tech cart. And then when it's time to check out and send an invoice or get a payment, that is the easiest thing in the world because it's all done off of that junk cart. Payments will be Stripe, so it'll be fully automatic. I'm pushing everyone to try to use ACH because the fees are a lot lower. You only pay like 1.5% total versus almost 3% if you use credit card, which does add up over time. But obviously that's up to you guys and your customer base, what you want to do. But I'm doing for my business $10 off by using the photo estimator, and I don't have it even turned on officially right now, and people are still using it, but I'm bridging this from my old system to this new catalog system right now, and so it's not fully dialed in. But I'll show you guys what the catalog looks like really quick. So you can go to this, it's Junk Cart Shopping, and the whole idea with this is just mainly for add-ons. So the idea isn't the customer comes here and they manually pick all this stuff. That's kind of what LoadUp does, but LoadUp is a lot more lame, and they just kind of have icons for stuff. And the idea of that, I don't even really like anyways, but everything is categorized based off of its weight and density. So Dirt, for example, is way more heavy than like a bag of styrofoam. But all of these prices you can set for your however you price based off of your location. So none of these are hard coded at all. These are all controllable in your dashboard. And if you're thinking it's going to be difficult to update that, absolutely not. There's a simple one-page pricing sheet. It's going to make it extremely easy to update pricing, and you won't even have to do it manually. You'll just hit a button and tell the AI to update. So if like the say the dump updates pricing by 5%, you hit a button, say, "Hey Ryan, update my pricing across the board by 5%," and boom, all of your pricing will be updated. It's that simple. And then when someone runs back through the estimator, they just take their images and all these catalog items will show up in the cart. You can edit the price line by line. Here, I'll show you really quick. So let's see, we'll select this refrigerator. We'll add this to the cart. What else do we want? Let's go back to the catalog here. We'll throw on a mattress. We'll add it to the cart. And by the way, all this, if you guys want to play around with this software, it's all on my website right now, benjunkremoval.com. So you can practice adding things to the cart, seeing what it does. So this came up with a little note right now. It's saying that, we're going to confirm the price before finalizing it, which we're still working on getting that fully dialed in. So this is inaccurate. The fridge should be about $120. So basically that's it. And then the customer will do this, or they'll just submit photos and it'll match these catalog items, and then they can go ahead and book their appointment. And then you'll see in your dashboard an appointment was booked. And also on the iOS app that an appointment was booked, companion app for all of this. So we'll go back to the website here. So right now, like I said, we've got your partner cards. We can turn these off, but there's going to be a spot in there to turn these on or off, and you guys can add if you have any partnerships that you had. I think that just builds local authority, and customers realize you're not an aggregator like LoadUp. You're like actually a local business. But when you buy this platform, all of your marketing, it doesn't have to, but I would strongly suggest using this marketing, which is powered by JunkOS, which in my book is going to give all of you haulers the same level of software, actually way better software power than what the big guys are using, like LoadUp and them, because this software is way more advanced than what they're using. Like LoadUp just has a really basic catalog they're using. I really think that when I actually go to launch this thing is gonna just blow everything out of the water. So you'll get all of these service cards. You can turn off any individual ones if you don't offer them. It's really easy to do in the dashboard. I've got 4 different pricing tiers: lightweight, standard, construction debris, and like heavy items. So for me, I only do like $400 for a load of lightweight, and then $800, $1,200, and $1,600. So I still have these simple pricing cards. Those are all actually on my pricing sheet, which I'll show you guys really quick. We'll just go there. So this says powered by JunkOS, and there's another ChatGPT image, but I thought it was cool. These are my pricing. These are my pricing tiers, and so all of these are controllable in the dashboard. So I have everything broken down into basically their density, and that's how all the items are cataloged. Because if you go to a house and you fill up with bags of clothing and styrofoam and insulation, I mean, that weighs nothing at the dump. It's generally really quick and doesn't take any time, doesn't take any money at the dump, and easy, right? So your profit is close to $400, and I think you'll get way more customers by charging the appropriate amount than charging $800 for these super simple jobs. And then all of these pricing cards, though, is yours to control in the dashboard. So you can update them at any time you want. You'll also get our AI that's built in. So this is Bren, our like sales AI. So here, we'll connect to this really quick. Hey, you there?
I'm here, nice and close. I'm Bren, the team's estimate assistant in beta. Tell me, what do you need hauled away today?
want an estimate for a mattress to be picked up.
We can do that. Let me ask, is the mattress waiting outside in a garage, or will the crew need to come inside to grab it?
It's in the garage.
Got it. I'll check the numbers for a single mattress with garage access. One moment. So, based on a queen mattress from the garage, the draft estimate comes out around $125. The tool didn't recognize the mattress type, so the team will confirm that final price. Does that sound okay so far?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks, Bren.
Glad to hear it. Ready for the next step? I can pass this along.
Yeah, let's go ahead and book it. I'm at 1484 Northeast Providence Drive, Bend, Oregon, 97701.
We can set up a request for the team to follow up. I'll just need your name and phone number to submit it.
Yep, my name is Travis Riddle. I'm at 503-701-5925.
Travis, thank you. Before I submit, let me say back what we'll send. One queen mattress pickup from the garage at 1484 Northeast Providence Drive in Bend. And the team will confirm pricing around that $125 estimate. You good with that?
That sounds great. Thank you.
All set, Travis. Your request is in and the crew will...
Just like that, the lead came through on my phone. I don't know if you can see that, but it's already in the system. So the system already has the estimate in there. Let me see if I can pull up the actual cart for this. So, to be honest, that price that she gave is not correct. And I'm in the middle of dialing in because I'm just switching from my old estimator that didn't have a catalog to this new estimator, which does. Which needs a few more days before it's totally dialed in. I'll come back and make a follow-up video just showing you guys how that process actually works when it's dialed in. But here's my lead. I can see it in my app. You guys know if that's focused on there or not, but it's already in my system. So that's how easy it is to use the system. Everything is all dialed together. It's not 5 different systems fighting each other. It's a full phone system, and I can call, I can text, I can have the AI follow up on its own, and all this can be controlled for your rules. So if you don't want the AI on your website, you don't have to have the AI on your website. If you don't want the AI to follow up with your calls, you don't have to. But you can set up rules for everything. For me, I have rules set up where I don't get calls anymore for mattress pickups. I let the AI handle and book all of those. My threshold is $400. My phone doesn't ring unless they're calling for something that's quoted over $400. Because I have other stuff to work on, and the AI can handle those no problem. They're simple. But if they call and they say anything about an estate clean out, or a garage clean out, or a donation pickup, it automatically transfers to me. And these are all rules that you can set up for yourself in the dashboard so that you can fully customize this AI autonomous business in a box to serve however it is that you function. But this is just the beginning of it. So you have your 35-page Next.js website, which is faster than anyone in town, despite the fact that you're going to have 40 images on your homepage because you're going to have 40 dedicated service pages with dedicated ad groups in Google, with your Google ads managed the way that they're supposed to be. And instead of waiting on us to send out reports to you, which we're never going to send out because that's how a lot of agency guys do it, it's all going to be proven to you in your dashboard. And we're so confident in this product, or I should stop saying we, it's just me. I have built this thing myself. But I'm so confident in Junk OS that I'm giving 30 days away for free, absolutely free. Sign up your well, you have to put in credit card for like API usage. I mean, that's a whole other thing, but and any Google ads, you'll have to use your credit card for that. But the website itself, like, go ahead and start a website. It's not going to cost you anything. Spin it up, upload your images, upload all your business stuff. See if you like the website. If you do, and you want to stick with it, we're going to prove to you in the dashboard how much money all the Google ads are making for you. 30 days should be enough time for it to start generating real traffic. It's not going to blow your socks off kind of traffic. But I think within 30 days, you're going to be like, oh my God, I've spent $1,000 this month on Junk OS and $1,000 on Google ads or $2,000 on Google ads, but it's generated over 10 grand in revenue. And that's what service-based businesses need. They need a system that takes you from nothing or very little business to making over 10 grand a month, like making real revenue in a short amount of time. And there's no other system out there, as far as I'm concerned, that does that for you. JunkOS is going to do that for you. This is my mission, to make everyone realize how antiquated and such bullcrap all these systems are that are currently in place. They are not doing anyone any favors. And the cost, if you string all of them together, is way more than what you'd be paying for this service. So this is just the website part of it. So we're going to do everything. I mean, all the way from building your website. Oh, I forgot to show you guys the theme. So here's the theme selector. So if you come to my website, benjunkremoval.com, hopefully this doesn't get like gang rushed or anything. Sooner or later, I'm going to build another website, which is just for people to play around with. But for now, you can come here and you can select all these themes. And I wanted to do this like really high tech, like iTunes style card theme selector, so you can actually see what the theme looks like, not tune card like a lot of people do. But there's 100 or so different themes in here, close to 100, and you can get a really good idea what the theme is. Like, I kind of like this. It's just like kind of like a cobalt, like dark gray. But if you double click on it, it'll automatically pull up the theme. And so the whole website re-renders in this theme. So you can see like, oh, yeah, I actually use black dump trailers with white logos. So this is what my website would look like in this theme. It's that quick. It's that easy. And you're never locked into one. You can change it at any time. So if you start with a certain theme layout and then later down the road you want to change it because you got a new trailer that's red, okay, you just go into your theme selector, which this doesn't stick, by the way. What's on the website version is just for customers and people to play around with. To permanently change it, you got to do it in the dashboard. It's the same process. It's just in a different spot. But say you change to red, right? So there's like all these red themes you can do. There's this one, which is candy apple liqueur that I made. And then there's this one, which is like a motorsport one, which I think looks really cool. But there are so many different themes. There's enough to match like whatever your junk removal business is. And then the other thing that I'm building into this is the ability to immediately restructure it too. So if you want it to look different, if you don't want this full like one-page layout, or they call it this a hero section. So if you don't want this one-page hero section, I know all this terms I had to learn because I was new to websites 4.5 months ago. I'd never touched one. But yeah, if you want to change that, just go into the theme selector and then go to this magic paintbrush thing. There's a whole nother story, and I'll get into this later. I think this is going to be a bigger idea than all this junk removal stuff, even. But I honestly think this is going to be like $1 billion idea just in and of itself. Hopefully, I mean, but. The idea of this is you can go in here and you can change any aspect of the website just by clicking a button. So we'll double click this, or actually you just have to hit that once and then hit apply and then come back up and see how the whole thing's just restructured. The whole CTA got moved. So I'll go back and show you again the comparison. So look at this. So it moved the full screen hero image into this little bento hero, and then it moved this bottom CTA up into this other bento. So it totally restructures and gives you a different look. And then these you'll be able to turn on and off in the dashboard. You can turn off any of these service cards if you don't provide any of those specific services. Really anything will be custom, but immediate. It doesn't take these all, I'm saying 24 hours for now, but really when I'm done, these will all be just immediate. You just pick on the theme and the structure you want, enter your data, your business name, hours, all that crap, and it'll just spit it out. And you're done. You don't have to wait 12 weeks on someone to build you a decent website. It's just there. That's the way it should be. Let's just get rolling. Let's focus on building a business. But now you have this amazing, beautiful, state-of-the-art Next.js, which is the same enterprise-grade tier software that Netflix and Nike and a ton of like cutting-edge corporations use. It's way faster than bloated WordPress sites that will drag your conversions down. You'll spend so much more money on Google. I promise you. So that's how the website works. You'll have to register with Twilio to get your phone numbers. With our standard package, we're including 10 phone numbers. The reason we're including so many is because we think that data is everything. So you need to be able to track everything. So we do full GCLID tracking, and we've even developed our own tracker to sit on top of it called Service Beacon, which is a lot more robust than just standard GCL ID tracking. Google Click ID tracking has a lot of holes in it, but most agencies won't even give you that unless you spend thousands, like tens of thousands of dollars. But this is just built in natively into this software. That is the beauty of having this machine that I've built, is that all of the, it's like what my analogy earlier, when if you build this custom car, then it's cool looking, but it's, you know, kind of a pile of crap. If you get this website builder that I have, it looks great, and it's got everything built into it that you need. It's got all the tracking from start to finish built in. So when a customer clicks on, it's tracked. Oh, that's interesting. That's not good at all. I will have that fixed immediately. Weird. Is that just for this theme? Let's try this one. Yeah, that's no bueno. So I'm putting myself a little bit out there by making this video before this product is done. It is not done. I just want you guys to start understanding what it is that Junk OS is going to bring. I'm not going to hand you an unfinished product. I'm probably still 4 to 6 weeks away from beta testing, but hopefully this gives you a better idea of what you get. So with this shell, you'll get full GCL ID tracking. The dashboard is going to show you where every one of your dollars went for advertising and how much money it produced for you. You'll see all of your leads, all of your junk carts in there. Payments will be through Stripe, which will be onboarded through the dashboard. The Twilio will take some time to go through their government compliance stuff. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But we automate as much as we possibly can for you during that process. And look, I could go back and edit that part out where the 404. I'm not going to, because I'm trying to be raw and real with you guys. I'm not saying that this is the best product in the world yet, but it's going to be. When I officially launch this thing, it is going to be the best service-based product, at least that I can possibly build. And it's going to change a lot of people's lives. And people deserve to have the right tools and to be able to build the business for the families that they deserve and make the money that they deserve by putting in the work that they're putting in and not getting ripped off by the Matt Fitches out there. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. You can see, obviously, not everything is working at this point. Also, this green down here, I just noticed, is not part of this theme, so I need to have this fixed. So, what theme is this, actually? Oh, it is part of the theme. Deschutes Daybreak. Okay. Anyways, I think you guys get the gist. You get where you're coming from. I'd love to answer any questions, take any criticism. I'm sure I'm going to get some heat for the 404 on the estimator page, but I'm going to fix that right now. So, to be honest, I've been deep in the code working on getting the catalog and the V3 estimator handed off. It's still like halfway there, and I still have to finish the dashboard and finish unifying all the surfaces, building out some pages in the dashboard even still. And so I'm thinking, I've never built software before. Never have. So I've been working feverishly like 100 hours a week, and I've accomplished a ton in this time, but there's still a decent amount of work to do. So this is what Junk OS is. What it's going to be is a whole lot more that I haven't even touched on yet, but I think it's going to change a lot of people's lives for the better. And I'm happy to talk with any questions. I'm not in any way even remotely embarrassed of this product. I know there's a saying in software where it's like, if you're not embarrassed of your first product, then you launch too late. Well, I guess I'm going to launch too late because I'm not even remotely embarrassed. I think this is going to be, I'm so excited for this product because I think it's going to change a lot of people's lives. You're not going to spend all day chasing 5 different systems and spreadsheets and trying to figure out where this customer was. Was it by email? Was it by, yeah, there's so many things. I mean, Google, we got approved for our Google API key for reviews, which is very difficult to do. So the Google Reviews Management will be built into the dashboard too, which is amazing. I'm super excited about that. You can set that to auto respond to people leaving you reviews. You can set it to manual if you don't want it to do anything at all, or a hybrid, which will like formulate the response and then you just press select. but all of those even have different thresholds on them. So like for me, I have it on auto responds to my reviews, but not if it's not a 5-star. If it's anything less than 5-star, I'm personally dealing with it. I'm chasing them down and trying to get a 5-star. My reviews mean a ton to me, and I'm willing to fight for them. And I'm willing to fight for you guys. I see what companies like Load Up and Check Sammy are doing to people, including what I kind of got lucky with Load Up in a way here in Bend because there's not really anyone else using them. But the offers that they send out to people for these jobs are absolutely atrocious, and I have a plan to take them down. I mean, to totally disrupt the service industry and Load Up's model because it's broken, and haulers deserve better. And honestly, they leave people fighting for scraps, and it pisses me off, to be honest. So I'm on a mission to bring you guys a better product, and I won't stop until I do. I'm sorry for I feel like this is a very unorganized just rant and just, yeah, I don't know. I can definitely do a better job in the future of providing a more organized, structured overview of everything. But for now, I couldn't wait any longer just to get something out because I've just been building in the dark. And I'm in the junk removal space. I know what I'm doing, but my name isn't out there. Nobody knows who I am, really. People know my junk huggers business here. I mean, you can look me up. I've been doing it for about 2 years. I've got about 60 reviews. I didn't have a Google, a review management tool. Otherwise, I probably would have had a lot more reviews, but a good online presence. There's still stuff I know I need to clean up, like my GMB needs cleaned up, but I've been in the trenches just trying to build the best product that you guys can possibly have for junk removal, and that's what I'm bound and determined to bring for you guys. So I'll be looking for beta testers soon, so I'll be taking applicants for that. If you guys are interested, it's going to be an amazing deal. For the first 3 people that sign up will get 90% off plus the API usage. The next 3 people will get 70% off, and then probably the next 4 will get 60% off or 50% off. I still have to dial that in completely, but hopefully we'll get 10 beta testers fairly quickly, and we'll get all the other little bugs worked out that I haven't personally worked out, and then we'll be ready to just start slaying it. And as soon as I get enough subscriptions where we can have more of a national presence, then I'm going to start looking to get national contracts and start winning jobs for all of you guys that are buying this software and providing revenue to you at a much higher percentage of what Load Up and Check Sammy are giving out. So that's just kind of a sneak peek into my plan. So thank you guys for, if anyone did, this has been almost an hour, which is insane for a junk removal video, so I apologize, and I know it's chaotic and all over the place. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.